Subscribe to my mommy's channel. Like, comment, and share.
Sometimes a pause isn't failure. It is necessary recalibration. Hey, it's your girl Kiki. Welcome back to Where is the Manual? Yes, I know it's been a while. And before I even say anything else, I want to say this very clearly. I didn't disappear because I didn't want to do this podcast or I didn't have anything to say. I disappeared because I needed a break in the midst of chaos. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. This podcast has pretty much always been a space for honesty, and the truth is, I didn't want to come back until I can show up honestly, not polished, not pretending, just real. So today's episode, I'm calling it Raising a Daughter, Raising Myself, because that's exactly where I am. I'm doing a good job raising my child, and I'm realizing I'm still learning how to raise me. I want to be clear about something. When I say I struggle with being a mom, that's not because I don't love my daughter or I'm not a good mom. As a matter of fact, I'm a great mom. I show up, I love deeply, I protect my child fiercely, but that does not mean I always know what the right thing to do is. Parenting is constant decision making. Am I being too strict or not strict enough? Am I teaching independence or pushing too fast? Am I protecting her or am I projecting my own fears? There are days I lie in bed replaying conversations or situations, wondering if I handled something right, wondering if I should have spoken softer or been firmer, wondering if the boundaries I set were for her own benefit or just my own exhaustion. Motherhood doesn't come with a scorecard. No one tells you if you're getting it right in real time. And when you're parenting largely on your own, the doubt can be loud, super loud. I don't struggle with loving my daughter. I struggle with the weight of the responsibility of it all. Knowing that my choices shape her confidence, shapes her safety, shapes her sense of self. Being a great mom doesn't mean certainty. It means caring enough to question yourself. It means staying present even when you're unsure. It means being willing to course correct when you realize something isn't working. And sometimes the hardest part of parenting isn't the doing, it's the wondering. Wondering if the way I'm raising her will help her thrive in a world that isn't always kind. So yes, I'm a great mom. And yes, I'm also still figuring it out. Both of those things can be true at the same time. My biggest challenge is really just figuring out everything outside of motherhood and how can I do it all well? Who am I now? What do I want? What does fulfillment look like at this stage of my life? Motherhood clarified my priorities, but it's also blurred my sense of self. Somewhere between making lunches, managing schedules, and holding it all together, I realized, again, I stopped checking in with me. I know how to pour into my daughter. I'm still learning how to pour back into myself without guilt. I've been working since I was 14 years old. Responsibility has always been my baseline. So when I say I'm tired, it's not because I don't want to work. It's not because I'm lazy. And it's not because I'm ungrateful for my career. I'm tired because I've spent decades climbing ladders that keep moving. And as a Black woman, let's be honest, the climb is different. You work harder, you prove yourself more, you get fewer second chances. I don't hate my career. I hate systems that don't care about people. I hate the workplaces that preach work-life balance but reward burnout. I hate environments where excellence is expected from me, but grace is reserved for others. And here's the part I had to admit to myself. I don't know how to be mediocre. Mediocrity seems to be rewarded for some people. It's forgiven. It's even protected. But for me, it feels dangerous. So, of course, I overwork, I overthink, I overdeliver, and then I wonder why I'm exhausted, like physically, mentally, and it shows up in the way that I look, the way I present myself, the way I speak, the way that I relate to other people. And it's frankly impacting my health. Work-life balance sounds great in theory, but it assumes a lot. It assumes you have support. It assumes you have backup. It assumes you can afford to rest. As a single mom, as a Black woman, as someone people depend on, balance feels like a moving target. I want to be present for my daughter. I want to be ambitious. I want to be financially secure. I want peace. And sometimes I feel like those things are fighting with each other. I overwork not because I want to, but because slowing down doesn't feel safe. Because rest feels like something I have to earn. Because being good enough has never been enough for me. And that's something I'm still kind of unpacking. You know, the times your child got a 90 and you don't celebrate it, but instead say, why wasn't it 100? Why didn't you get the extra credit? Lately, I've been struggling with connections. Friendships feel harder to maintain. Dating feels harder to even start. And not because I don't want love or companionship, but because my emotional bandwidth is limited. I don't want to explain my life. I don't want to perform strength. I don't want another thing I have to manage. People assume I'm okay because I'm capable, because I get things done, because I always land on my feet. But strong people need softness too. And sometimes I don't even know where to put that softness. I've also been sitting with major anxiety and quiet anxiety, the kind that doesn't always have a name. Anxiety about choosing wrong, anxiety about standing still, anxiety about protecting my daughter, anxiety about waking up one day and realize I did everything right for everyone else, but not for myself. I can be responsible and still feel lost. I can be strong and still feel unsure. And admitting that hopefully doesn't make me weak. But I am human. And here's the paradox of it all. I'm raising a daughter to be independent, brave, kind, confident. I tell her to trust herself. I tell her to speak up. I tell her she deserves joy. And sometimes I pause and ask myself, am I living that too? But maybe the lesson isn't perfection. Maybe the lesson is honesty. Maybe raising her isn't about having it all figured out. Maybe it's about letting her see me grow, letting her see that becoming doesn't stop at motherhood, that women evolve, that identity shifts, that it's okay to question and rebuild. This is the season I'm in. Not broken, not failing, just transitioning. I came back to this podcast because I still believe in this space. I believe in telling the truth out loud. I believe in sitting in the in-between without rushing to fix it. If you're listening and you feel like you're doing a great job taking care of everyone else but struggling to take care of yourself, you are not alone. You can be a great parent and still be searching. You can be strong and still tired. You can be raising a child while still raising yourself. I'm Kiki. Thank you for holding space for me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for really just being forgiving and still on this journey with me. Until next time, remember, none of us got the manual.
Subscribe to my mommy's channel. Like, comment, and share. See you all next time.